Hey guys, welcome to episode 4 of the Blogger Breakthrough Summit. I'm super excited for today's episode. It was actually recorded before I decided to start a podcast. I recorded it towards the end of 2019. It was meant to be part of a series on my blog, but to say 2020 hasn't gone exactly to plan would be a bit of an understatement. I'm sure you can relate. Anyway, in this episode, I'm talking to Katrina from Frugal Fun Mom about 3 things she did to get her email list to over 100 subscribers, and more importantly, celebrating that milestone. So let's go ahead and dive in.
Thank you, Katrina. I'm saying your name right?
Yeah.
Okay. From Frugal Fun Mom, which your site's super cute, by the way.
Thank you.
Super excited to get to talk to you because I reached out to you because you had shared a win inside of a Facebook group that we're both a part of, because you finally crossed that threshold of 100 email subscribers, which is so exciting. Like,
it is exciting.
You know, and now you're probably like, okay, well, now I need to get 2,000. But let's just take a moment to celebrate and really be excited that you crossed that threshold, because that's 3 digits.
I know. Yep. It's sure been hard. Holy moly.
Okay. So you started your blog at the end of March of this year, 2019. Uh-huh. Had you ever had any experience blogging in the past?
I had. I am no stranger to online business. My husband and I used to have a web and graphic design company about, we're talking like a good 10 years ago.
Okay.
And it was our sole income. I mean, it was the job that we did. And then I had 3 kids and decided I can't do this anymore. Okay. And he needed to go back to work. We have a son that has a heart condition. And so my husband needed to go back to work so we could afford insurance for our son. It killed him to go back to work, but he is now. And so now we have insurance, and that's good. Or at least we can afford it more now. Now that we're not paying for it by ourselves.
Yeah, our health system's broken.
It's awful. But that's in the past. So we put that business to bed, and I started another blog like 8 years ago, and it just wasn't doing anything. And that's because I didn't really have a plan. Yeah. And so I picked up Ruth's book, her first book, the blogging
how to blog for profit without selling your soul, something along those lines.
I picked up her book and I started reading it, and I was like, man, a lot of this makes a lot of sense. And then I heard about EBA, and I was like, this is what I need, like an actual plan to know what to do. And so that kind of really, I feel like it gives you a really good plan. So that's where I am now.
For those that don't know, EBA is Elite Blog Academy. And that was another thing I noticed about your post is this blog you started in March this year.
There goes my dog.
Elite Blog Academy in January. I'm going to talk over it so my dog's over here. In January of this year. So like, I feel like that was like the first step to like you breaking through this level is that you can do it with a plan.
Yes.
Like, if only like I had started with BBA. No, I messed up my site so much and then did
I think we all do. At least it's fixable, right?
It is. Thank goodness.
Yeah.
But yeah, so in March, it was the end of March. I think it was March 30th. And then as of, I think it was like the end of October or the beginning of November, you hit 100 subscribers.
Yep.
But half of those like were in October, right?
Yeah. Which was weird. My husband is a super nerd, as I like to call him. I say that lovingly. And we were up late one night, and he was looking through my site, and he's like, honey, your site is loading really, really slowly. We need to smush all your images. And I'm like, okay. So we did that. It messed up a whole bunch of stuff. But it definitely helped. And the next day, all of a sudden, I had a couple extra subscribers, and I'm like, oh, okay, so maybe this is a good thing. And then fast forward a few days, and I was listening to one of Ruth's podcasts about just making sure that you're posting more than once a week and instead posting 3 times a week. And it's like overnight, I posted 3 times a week for a couple weeks, and I started getting 10 subscribers a day. And I was like, this is it. This is the thing that I need to do. And which is good. I mean, you just have to get more content out there. And somebody said the best way to, every time you put more content out there, it's one more door opening up to your site. And so I keep trying to keep that in my head that the more content I put out there, the more doors I have, hopefully the more people will find me. And so now I'm on this quest of like posting at least 3 times a week, and it's helping, and it's ebbing and flowing. I mean, I think I'm averaging consistently 5 to 6 subscribers a day, which for me is huge, right? But
that's huge, period. Don't be putting yourself down. Like for me, that's huge. That's consistent growth. That's huge.
Right.
That's exciting.
Right. It is. And everyone keeps saying like the holidays end up like changing everything. Like Halloween, there was a huge dip on Halloween. And of course I was panicking going, oh my gosh, I have no subscribers today. And they're like, that's a holiday. Like, I guess that happens. And so I panic when, things go down, but it just kind of goes up and down, but I'm consistently right around 5 a day. So I'm excited with that right now.
That's awesome. So how many subscribers do you have now?
Well, here's the other thing that I'm learning is I'm getting a lot of the same people subscribing for a lot of my stuff. So I don't know what that means.
Gotcha. Okay.
Like, I don't know if that's like, I don't know what that means. Honestly, I'm like,
they love your stuff.
I guess. So like the same people are keeping liking it. So now I think I was just looking at it. I think I have 121 today. And I'm like, I'm getting lots of people subscribing, but a lot of them are the exact same people getting other things. And so I don't have any idea how to like.
Out of curiosity, what email marketing service are you using?
I'm using MailerLite.
Oh, okay. So
and I love it.
It does count people twice, I think.
Well, it doesn't actually count them twice.
Oh, okay.
It like tells me that someone subscribed. So it's like you think you get a subscriber, and then when you look at your subscriber, like you think you're getting one.
Go up because it was someone. Okay. Oh,
right. So then your subscriber list stays like, that's why I'm at 120.
Which is nice because then you're not being charged.
Agreed.
Yeah.
It is nice. But of course I'm like, as I'm like scrolling through my email, I'm like, sweet, I got like 10 today. And then I go and look at my list and it's like, what? Like I have 2 actual new ones.
That's awesome to be excited about because they love your stuff, which means they're going to love what you put out because you don't need a huge.
I hope so.
I
hope so. I really hope so.
Keep going in EBA. Keep going in EBA.
That's what I'm doing. And I keep hoping that someone will, like, that people will write me back, like with my newsletter and stuff. Yeah. I'm not getting I've had one person write me back, which I'm like, okay, one person did. And
right? If anyone's watching this and you get like newsletters from, I feel it. You're probably like, oh, it's just a newsletter. But if you hit like, it means so much to the blog.
Oh, it totally does.
It really does.
Totally does. And one lady did write me back and she said it totally meant everything to her to get that email that day. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. It's going to happen all the time. And well, that was like 3 months ago. So
yeah, but you keep going. You keep going. No, that's awesome. Okay. So you went into blogging with a plan. You bumped up your content creation to create more doors. Are you doing an opt-in for every post or do you have like a that you fit each post?
Well, I make sure to put an opt-in in every single post, and I'm trying to write all my content to somehow apply to all the opt-ins that I have. Like, I was looking at them just today. I have like 18 of them, believe it or not. I have a lot of them, which I'm like, I don't even know. Don't even ask me what that means. I don't even know.
Okay. That's okay.
I have a lot of different things. It's like that whole throwing spaghetti at the wall, trying to see which one will grab people. Yeah. But they all are they're all different things. Anyways, I'm trying to make sure every post I write includes, like, somehow applies to one of those, obviously. Yeah. But yes, I'm optimized. Every single post has an opt-in.
Okay. And
like it applies to something. Like,
and what I should say, one of the other big things you did is you sped up your site speed.
Yes.
Impressive.
Which I'm working on that even more now because my husband is like, honey, I don't know where you missed the boat. You used to be a graphic designer. Like, come on. Like, what happened? I'm like, I don't know. You get so
I had 3 kids and my brain just had other priorities.
Well, and I'm like looking at this stuff going, oh, that picture looks a lot better if it's a PNG, which it's not. Like, anyway, so now I'm backtracking and kicking myself that I'm making things smaller.
Yeah, but it's easy to compress with like a plugin like Smush. Sure. Is a plugin. I use Short Pixel myself.
Yep.
Like there's plugins to make this easy. So before we're like, oh yeah, speed up your thing. You're like, oh my god. You're like, no. There's a plugin you hit.
There is. Agreed.
All the images. So.
Agreed. Agreed.
Because I am not a huge techie person. I can't code, but I've managed to run sites for 5 years now.
Yeah. It's amazing how easy it really is for us that, like, my husband's the nerdy one. I know some things, but I'm the artsy-fartsy one. And so it's like, I can figure most stuff out, but I don't know how to do it all either. And I've done this. I only asked him for help a few times.
You don't know until you don't know. And then you
right.
get a piece of information and it opens a door and you're like,
right.
oh, wow.
Right.
Well, let me go learn about that and
yep.
apply it. And then, you know,
thankfully
went a step too far. Like,
yeah.
you know.
Or thankfully, I just call my husband. I'm like, honey, I don't know what I just did. Oh,
yeah,
he figures out a lot.
I hit up Grayson Bell from My Work Interactive, who's awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Because we were in the same economical group and stuff. And so I'm like, hey, man.
Yeah.
What did I
do? It's always good to know somebody, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I just want to, so you took a lot of steps, but I think having a plan, being consistent, you know, clearing the clutter that was slowing down your site were probably, would you say, the 3 big things that helped you kind of hit that next level of
absolutely
of 100?
Yep. And now I'm like, keep pushing forward. I'm like, come on.
Yeah.
Let's get 200 and we're going out for dinner, babe.
I like it. So you reward yourself with
totally.
goals.
Oh, my kids are always asking me, Mom, how many subscribers did you get today? And when I reach certain spots, they're like, can we go get ice cream? I'm like, sure, whatever. Let's party. Like, it's hard.
Totally.
Whatever you got to do to celebrate, right?
Yeah, but I would also say celebrate the fact that, you know, when you for a month get 3 posts out a week, you know, because that's a outcome you can control, whereas the number of subscribers, you can't always control that. So I hesitate to connect too much of a like reward to the numbers.
Sure.
You can always control them. But if I'm doing the work that I know is going to lead to that, like that, I think should be rewarded.
Yep. Agreed.
But yeah. Is there any other tips for that you would give someone who's sub 100 right now working towards that?
I'm thinking, well, don't give up. And the days can be really long. I've had many days where I want to bang my head against the wall and cry and be like, what is going, like, why is this so hard? But at the same time, just keep going. Like they all say, you never know what post is going to take off. I've never had any post go viral. I got posts out there, but none of them have gone nuts. I keep hoping maybe
and viral is a subjective term.
Oh, I know it totally is. But like, you know what I mean? Like nothing is like, I don't know. I feel like my site's cool or whatever, but there's nothing over the top yet. And I'm just continuing on. I guess my advice is you don't have to know exactly where you're going to end up. You don't have to know exactly what your business is going to look like because it is going to change. You don't know what's going to necessarily resonate. What you think is a great idea may not be the thing that your people love. Just keep trying. Try lots of different things and just show up every day for the journey because who knows where it's going to take you. And that's kind of what I'm living in is I don't know where it's going to go, but I am here. I'm committed to doing it. And I keep praying that it will end up being amazing.
Thank you so much for sharing because I feel like, you know, there's so many like blogger income reports out there and what you see are these like astronomical successes. And you know, especially when you're starting out or it's a newer site, even if you've been blogging on other sites, it's like, if you can feel like such a like, you know?
Or if you feel like you're way behind. Like you should have done this so many years ago, and if you had, you would be like super amazing, like all the big wigs, you know?
Yeah. Or you see
like
someone who started after you go so much further, and you're like, come on. But everyone's different. You know, you never know what their backstory is either. Maybe you know, maybe they have a lot of money to pour into ads. You know, who knows?
Yeah, let's go with that idea.
You know, so you never know. So don't be comparing yourself to others and celebrate every level of success that you hit.
Absolutely.
So
I like that idea for sure.
All right. Well, thank you so much for taking the time. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. You're welcome. Anytime.
All right, guys. I hope you enjoyed my chat with Katrina. I did reach out to her to be like, hey, I'm finally publishing your interview. And she informed me that she is now at over 800 subscribers. Who knows? By the time this is actually live, it could be 1,000, which is saying a lot because she, of course, has been impacted by COVID-19 as well, in the sense that, I mean, everyone's gotten impacted differently, but in the sense that all 3 of her kids are home now. And so she went from being able to work full-time on her blog to not having a lot of time at all. So the fact that she went from 100 to over 800 in a good, 6 or 7 months and may even be at over 1,000 is huge. So congratulations, Katrina. And if you guys have a blogging milestone, big or small, I would love to talk to you about it. I'd love to interview you and celebrate you. go ahead and shoot me an email at hello@elizabethstapleton.com so that we can chat, because I think, we need to celebrate every single milestone. And knowing what you did could help someone else hit that milestone too. Take care.